Dr. Ellis, we can't leave this conversation without talking about something that's often left out.
Right.
Access to adequate health care when it is needed, and the health condition that is currently existing within this community and communities throughout this country. How does that both a product of poverty, and how does that help deepen poverty?
You know, the last 6 years, this is the 6th year I've served on a board of East Orange General Hospital. Began as a vice chair, and now I chair the board of an urban hospital that by choice takes the uninsured, the marginalized, the mentally ill, the poor, and the ugly. And that's why many of you don't go there. And you go up the hill because it has nice wood. What we're finding in our little hospital, as we look over the last 10 years, New Jersey has seen 22 hospitals close. And we're probably going to see about 4 more happening and hitting quickly. And one of the reasons why those hospitals closed, I came on board, and of course, you know, I'm a mother and I'm a woman at that time, childbearing age, not anymore. Let me give my age away. But at that point, I came on board and I said, where are the services for women and children? Our hospital does not have pediatrician services, nor does it have the ability for mothers to give birth. And so I had to be educated. And what I found is that in order for a hospital to stay open of that size, we did 1,000 live births every year of insured patients. 20 years ago, the hospital made the decision to focus on behavioral health. The hospitals have closed because we do not have the capacity and we do not have the will to deal with children and mothers, and malpractice insurance has gone skyrocket with our OBGYN, so we're just shutting hospitals down. We're closing them down. Have women stopped giving birth? No. But the people who are giving birth are immigrant, undocumented, poor people, and nobody wants them. So here we now have Newark that has seen St. James closed, Columbus closed. I didn't see the protests in the street, by the way. And the problem that the community needs to understand is by the time it is announced, it is too late for your hospital.
Yeah, that's true.
The hospital offers forums all the time and nobody shows up. People are not coming unless we're shutting down or there's some chicken. The power in this room is being lost, as we've heard. So here I am by choice on a board that you don't want to go to that hospital. And so what I've said to the board members, everyone in here should choose a doctor and someone in your family should go here. So now we're trying to make that a by example thing. By example, you have education issues that when you're trying to teach a community about health, you're trying to tell them you need prenatal care, you need to follow up with your physician, you need to do these types of things. And if you don't do that, you're going to slip lower and lower into poverty. Our children cannot learn if they cannot eat. Arguably, in the next decade, we will not be fighting over oil, we'll be fighting over clean water. Clean water is a resource that is going away. Access to clean water is something that our communities do not have, and access to good food. You should not have anything that's bright red, green, or blue drinking or serving to your children. You should not have processed food. And the ability to create sustainable economies is a way that women and communities can work. If you can grow your own food, you can live. Rooftop gardens, gardens that pop out of, little containers. We need to feed our community. Feed our community things that are alive. And so you look at the uninsured and the underinsured. A few weeks ago, I'm dealing with my own health issues and went to I went to the orthopedic doctor. Have multiple issues happening, and they said at the desk, you could only pick 2 issues. My neck was bothering me, my knee, and my foot. I have arthritis among some other things that no one needs to be bothered with. And I said, well, my neck is really bothering me. They said, the neck man comes on Monday. I have insurance, but I have underinsurance because of HMO and PPOs. And then when you get into Medicaid and Medicare, it's a whole other ballgame. There are structural systems within healthcare that are making it very difficult for us to thrive, making it very difficult for us to be healthy and whole communities and families. When you have to make a choice between your medication and food or gas, you are in trouble. When people are taking knives and cutting their medicine in half, as I've seen my own father and my own uncle do, because they have to stretch it out. Stretch it out. And the older you get now, after 65, watch out. And women, you're living longer, but the quality of life will be severely hindered if you are poor or lack the resources to do what you need to do. So, basic things, transportation. How are you going to get to your doctor's appointment? Most people who live in the city have to take the bus. You have to set up your appointments based on those things. We don't think about that. And so hospitals and churches need to start thinking about ways we can partner. There are a lot of seniors that need to go places. Raise your hand right now, besides for school, if you are connected to an organization that can provide services to the community. Raise your hand. Look at the power. Just turn around, look at the power in this room. We're looking at transportation, we're looking at food, we're looking at resources with every hand. There should be a network that says we're going to meet, we're going to make a commitment. We're not going to let black women die at a higher rate because of cancer, because of diabetes. Diabetes is not a birthright. Diabetes is a curse. And diabetes should not be embraced. Don't just say I got the sugar diabetes. Oh, let me stop. I mean, there's a lot to consider when you think about how we have to think about our lives as whole human beings. And part of the problem is that we do not have people who participate in service on boards, who participate in full ways for these community hospitals. We are one of an independent urban hospital in this region and only one of 5 in this state. We are solvent, we're still here, we're still taking dirty, tired, broke, ugly people just like me, because I'm the person on the board, and if they ugly like me, we're going to take them. But what we're doing is saying we're going to convert your uninsured status to a status of insured. We're going to figure out creative ways to do certain things. And so we're thinking out the box because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I can't be wrong. I don't know what I'm doing, so all I know is that there are poor people that need some help. We opened up a thrift store, and we're making people pay. Making people pay. We're opening the thrift store, and we're making sure, and we also, That's right. Dr. West, opened up 24 units of single-family housing units and got into the business. If you're homeless and mentally ill, we need to be involved with that. So that's the kind of thing that I'm proud to say that I've been a part of.
I was just wondering, no, Dr. Antoinette, I'm going to ask her, was she at the demonstration where the people were lined up at the supermarket in Newark demanding fresh vegetables and fruits? Were you at that one? I missed it too. I wandered into a certain supermarket last night, about 11:15. I was directed to stop there by a certain lady that I live with, and the place is called Wegmans. How many of you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. I walked in Wegmans. And Larry, I looked up at the wall, and as I was walking in, it says 96 varieties of organic fruits and vegetables available today. Where's Wegmans? It's not in the Central Ward. And let me tell you, the capitalists will go wherever customers are. You got that?
That's right.
So another thing, with all the structural inequities that we know about, we have to keep on moving.
Oh, yeah.
Where is our demand for fresh vegetables? Because by the time you get to the hospital, you know, they're trying to address some things that you could have addressed on the front side. We need a movement on that. We need a movement on community gardens. And when you're in the neighborhood and they own the property but they ain't doing nothing with it, go there and plant some cotton. And when they're ready for the land, we'll cut up the green. And when in the 80s, when I was in China, you couldn't find vacant land that wasn't being planted with food. But it's all up here. I mean, it's not all up here. We know that there's such a thing as institutional structures, but we have got to fight the power.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.